You know Dave Franco was probably just sitting around with his brother James Franco, who's actually directed a lot of movies actually, and he was like, yo James, I want to direct a movie, and James was like, you should do it. And Dave was like, cool, I'm gonna get my wife, I'm gonna get a couple of my friends, I'm gonna rent a house, I'm just gonna film a movie. What kind of movie? A horror movie. The Rental. This film was released on VOD a couple weeks back, and that is why the review is late, because I'm gonna be honest, I just forgot this movie even came out. I remember seeing the trailer a few months ago, and then I was like, oh, Dave Franco, that's cool, just like his brother James. And so when this movie came out a few weeks ago, I just didn't get a chance to see it, I forgot about it, and tonight I was at a friend's house, and they played it, and I was like, oh yeah! This movie. This film stars Alison Brie, Dan Stevens, Sheila Vand, and Jeremy Allen White, and is about these two couples renting out this house for the weekend when they start to notice things are not right. Cameras are recording them without even noticing, and it's also in weird places. They begin to not trust one another. Things are not going right. That plot alone does sound very intriguing, and then when you add in the fact that Dave Franco is directing this movie, it just threw me off. I was like, Dave Franco, but to be fair, James Franco is a director, so he probably got some kind of tips from your brother. You know he did. So making this movie, I went in saying, you know what, give me something just good. I might like you, Dave Franco, as a director. I mean, we just saw Jordan Peele, what he's done with his career. He was a comedian, an actor, and now look at him. Can Dave Franco do the same thing? And from this movie, he's definitely got some work to do. I'll start with the positives, of course. I think the movie alone looks really good. The cinematography and the color scheme looks really good for the movie. It does give you that sense of enclosure. These characters are in this house. There is stalking ability of like something is out there, someone is out there. It gives you the sense of not trusting one another. I like the feel of the movie. Again, it goes with the color scheme, the cinematography, and the look of the movie. And speaking of the look, the actors, all of them, they look great and they are great. I think the biggest flaw with this movie is it has nothing going for it. Again, I won't get into major spoilers because the movie it's only been out for a few weeks and stuff, and it's on VOD, but I just think these characters are so uninteresting / predictable. The movie gives nothing to the audience to really like get invested. There is this relationship drama that starts in the movie, and I would say is actually the main problem in this movie. Yes, the cameras are a huge thing. Yes, there's a stalker ability. That stuff I dug, but the main just issue in this movie is these four characters in this house. All the actors are fine and the story is there, but they give me nothing. The directing was very meh. Like, there was no great moment of like, oh, shit just went down. There's a moment with a body, which I thought was the moment was gonna kickstart this movie, but it goes for comedy in the scene, and I was like, what is this? Because the movie is very dark and dramatic, and it's got the intense, somber feel, but then when they start adding jokes, the tone is like, what is this movie? Because I know Dave Franco's known for comedies and stuff, but in this type of movie, I feel like he was writing this movie and directing this movie knowing, I got this idea in my head, I got this whole ending planned, let me just get to it. And it didn't give me enough to watch this movie and be intrigued with these characters and the story in a sense. And then the ending happens, which I did say was all planning to leave the ending. Again, no spoilers. Me personally, the ending was so fine. I mean, it was so like anticlimactic. It came out of nowhere, if you ask me. I was like, oh, okay, so this movie's this? And I had no idea that this movie was even this in this genre. Because if I tell you the genre, it's a spoiler. I don't want to do that for you guys. But the ending just felt out of nowhere. It was cool, I guess, and it really does set up a sequel, which actually, if you've seen interviews, Dave Franco is already planning to do a sequel if the movie does well, and to me, I'm just like, why even do that? The movie had its good ability to be one movie, but then you're going to do a sequel, and I don't know, they do try to set something up for a sequel, which I guess I would like to see if they could make it more better or do something different. But for now, this movie alone, it's very meh. I will give The Rental a D+. Again, seems like a pretty harsh grade for this movie, but it being such a meh movie, there's so many horror movies out there that you could watch that are way better than this one. This is very under the radar. You watch it once, you're never going to remember kind of movie if you ask me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Sorry for being late once again. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye, everyone.